Hello, dear friend. Welcome to Healing Pages channel, the safe haven where every page you turn brings you gently back to yourself. You don't have to change your entire life to feel at peace. Sometimes, all it takes is one quiet moment, a minute to pause, to breathe more slowly, and to truly be with yourself. That alone can be the beginning of a healing journey. In the rush of modern life, with its constant noise, endless tasks, and pressure to move faster, we often forget something beautifully simple. Slowing down doesn't mean falling behind. It means tuning in. It means feeling life more deeply, moment by moment. And the book I want to share with you today is exactly that. A gentle, yet profound guide that helps you return to yourself in the most simple, natural way. The Miracle of Mindfulness is one of the most well-known works by Zen Master Thich Nhat Hanh, a Vietnamese monk deeply respected across the world. He's the founder of Plum Village, and he devoted his life to teaching mindfulness, compassion, and the art of living deeply in the present moment. What makes Thich, as many lovingly call him, so special is how he writes and teaches in a way that's incredibly down to earth. There's no pressure, no complex theories, no detachment from real life. Everything he shares comes straight from the heart, and gently touches yours. This book, The Miracle of Mindfulness, is living proof of that. You don't need to become a monk, and you don't need tons of free time to start practicing mindfulness. You can begin with something as small and beautiful as a conscious breath, a slow and mindful step, or a warm cup of tea, sipped with gratitude. In today's video, we'll walk through the key insights from the book together. I'll guide you through some simple practices and, most importantly, we'll explore gentle lessons that, if truly applied, can shift the way you live and feel. Starting today. What is mindfulness, and why is it called a miracle? So, what exactly is mindfulness, and why does Thich Nhat Hanh describe it as a miracle? According to Thich, Zen Master Thich Nhat Hanh, mindfulness is not something distant or mysterious. It's not some lofty state that only monks or people with lots of free time can attain. Quite the opposite. Mindfulness, as he explains, is a life skill, a capacity we all have within us, something we can nurture gently, little by little, even in the middle of our chaotic daily lives. To be mindful means to be fully present in the here and now. When you eat, you truly know you're eating. When you breathe, you're aware of your breathing. And when you're washing the dishes, you're not busy planning tomorrow's to-do list or worrying about what to cook for dinner. You wash the dishes, simply to wash the dishes. It may sound incredibly simple, but once you try it, you'll see. To really live in the present moment isn't easy, but it's deeply, profoundly worth it. Thich calls mindfulness a miracle, because at the very moment you come home to yourself, you are no longer swept away by thoughts, worries, regrets, or fears. You are truly alive. He writes, the miracle is not to walk on water or in thin air, but to walk on the earth, aware that we are walking on it. Each step, in peace. One mindful step. One conscious breath. One sincere gaze into the eyes of someone you love, with presence, and with compassion. These small moments, when practiced with awareness, carry a quiet but powerful ability to heal. And the beauty of mindfulness is this: it's not about becoming a better version of yourself. It's about coming home to who you already are, a version of you that knows how to pause, how to listen, how to feel, and how to love. And from the very moment you begin to practice mindfulness, something subtle shifts. You start to realize that the things you've been chasing all along, peace, happiness, a sense of enoughness, they've always been within you. You are just living too fast to notice. The breath, a doorway into the present moment. Among all the gateways that lead us back to mindfulness, the breath is perhaps the shortest path, the simplest, the most accessible, and always available. We don't need to search for anything outside ourselves. We only need to remember this: every inhale and every exhale, when done with full awareness, becomes a quiet miracle. Thich Nhat Hanh doesn't teach us to breathe correctly in some technical sense. He teaches us to breathe with awareness. He writes, "Breathing in. I know that I am breathing in. Breathing out. I know that I am breathing out." The sentence is short, simple idea. But if you actually practice it, you'll discover something quietly powerful. Just a few conscious breaths are enough to bring a gentle stillness to your mind. Your emotions soften. The noise inside your head begins to fade. And in its place, something incredibly tender and real begins to rise. A sense of calm that doesn't ask for anything more than your presence. Your breath is your softest refuge. Because no matter where you are, in joy or in sorrow, in success or in doubt, your breath is always there, patiently waiting for you to come home. And here's the beautiful truth. You can practice mindful breathing anytime. While waiting for the elevator, sitting on the bus, standing in line for coffee. You don't need a meditation room. You don't need bells or cushions. You just need to pause for a moment, and really breathe, as if this breath was the very first time you were truly alive. Thich calls this the art of breathing. Not to control the breath, but to reconnect with the life flowing quietly within you. He writes, "Each mindful breath helps us stop. And when we are able to stop, we begin to see clearly in a world that constantly pushes us to move faster, to chase more, to never rest. To stop is an act of courage. And the breath is your first companion on that path. It opens the door that leads you gently back to yourself." Simple practices, deep transformations. And once you've begun to return to your breath softly, naturally, like someone coming home after years of wandering, you'll find yourself ready to take a deeper step into mindfulness, not through anything grand or dramatic, but through the quiet, everyday practices that Thich Nhat Hanh so gently offers in his book. There's nothing complicated here. You don't need a remote forest or a silent temple. You don't need a meditation bell ringing at sunrise. You only need to be present, in whatever you're doing, in the here and now. Walking mindfully is one of the simplest and the most beautiful practices. Thich suggests, walk as if each step is a kiss placed gently on the earth. That means you don't just walk to get somewhere. You walk as if walking itself is the destination. No rushing, no hurrying past the moment. Each step, each rhythm, like a cloud floating, light, peaceful, and whole. With each footfall, you are walking back home to yourself. Then there is mindful eating, a practice so small, yet powerful enough to shift your entire way of being. Most of the time, we eat with our phones, with deadlines hovering, with our minds already somewhere else. But they invite us to pause, to look at our bowl of rice, to recognize that within each grain is the sweat of the farmer, the warmth of the sun, the care of the earth. And when we eat with gratitude, with awareness, we don't just nourish the body, we feed the soul. And then there's listening with mindfulness, speaking with care, washing dishes with love, drinking tea with gratitude. Each of these ordinary acts, when done with presence, becomes a form of meditation. Meditation is no longer something we schedule or strive to get right. It becomes a way of being, a light and spacious presence we bring into each moment of our day. And it is in these moments, these seemingly plain moments, a step, a bowl of food, a breath, that you begin to feel something very real. That life is happening, right here, right now. Not in some distant goal. Not in the next achievement. But in this exact moment, unfolding quietly before you. Thich writes, when we are mindful, we touch life more deeply. We don't need to run anywhere. Everything is already here, in the present moment. And that's when you realize, you don't need to become someone else. You don't have to chase happiness to a faraway place. All you need is to truly be here, with your cup of tea, with sunlight resting on your shoulders, with the sound of morning bird song in the air. And in that stillness, you'll see, it's more than enough. real-life lessons. Mindful living is not some distant ideal. Once you've taken a few mindful steps, once you've breathed with awareness and allowed yourself to slow down enough to truly feel each moment, you'll begin to see something clearly. Mindfulness is not just a beautiful idea floating in the clouds. It's a grounded, practical, and deeply transformative way of life. Mindfulness helps us face challenges with clarity and peace. Thich never teaches us to run away from life's difficulties. On the contrary, mindfulness allows us to stay present with our struggles, without being overwhelmed by them. When your mind is calm, you're less reactive. You see more clearly. You respond, not from fear or ego, but from a deeper space of wisdom. And your actions become not about winning, but about healing, for yourself, and for those around you. Mindfulness nurtures the environment, both inside and out. Thich always reminds us of the deep connection between ourselves and nature. When you eat mindfully, you begin to truly appreciate your food. When you breathe mindfully, you recognize the air as a precious gift. And when you live mindfully, you no longer want to harm what is sacred. Not the planet, not others, not even yourself. True love begins with presence and understanding. One of the most beautiful lessons in this book is this. When you truly listen to someone, with mindfulness, without judgment, without interrupting, without thinking of what to say next, your presence becomes an act of love, because the greatest gift you can offer another person is simply to be there with them, fully. Awareness must be paired with responsibility. Mindfulness isn't just a feeling, it's a way of making conscious choices in everyday life. What we eat, how we consume, the words we speak, the way we treat others. To live mindfully is to live with integrity and care, not out of perfectionism or guilt, but out of compassion and awareness. It's about being awake to the impact of our actions, on ourselves, on others, and on the earth. Meditation is a way home, not a retreat from life, but a path to live it more deeply. Thich never teaches us to meditate in order to escape life. Instead, he shows us how meditation helps us see life more clearly, so that we don't rush through it unconsciously and miss its preciousness. One mindful breath between work meetings. One quiet pause while waiting for a ride. One evening without screens, just a warm cup of tea in your hands. All of that is meditation. All of that is healing. Every page of the Miracle of Mindfulness reads like a soft but sincere reminder. You don't need to run off in search of happiness. You only need to stop, and be present, right now. And maybe, just maybe, that's all it takes to change your life. Why this book brings healing to the young generation today. In a time where everything moves too fast, demands too much, and grows far too loud, many of us, especially the young, find ourselves caught in a cycle that often feels exhausting. Each morning begins with a packed schedule, deadlines chase each other, and social media is a constant stream of people who seem more successful, more fulfilled, more together than we are. And that's exactly why the Miracle of Mindfulness feels like such a rare and precious pause, a soft whisper in the midst of all the noise, gently reminding us. You don't have to keep running. You don't need to compare. You only need to come back. Just breathe. Just be true to yourself. And that is enough. This book doesn't try to heal us with empty motivational quotes. Instead, it quietly guides us back to something simple that we may have forgotten, our presence. For young people swept away by endless busyness, mindfulness is like a medicine that slowly brings us back into balance. You don't have to push so hard. You don't have to be perfect. You don't need to be cheerful all the time, or strong every day. You just need to be, with all your worries, your vulnerabilities, and your longing to be seen, to be heard, to be loved. This book teaches us how to reconnect with ourselves in the gentlest way. Not by forcing anything. Not by chasing big goals. But simply by learning to notice. I am breathing. I am alive. And that, in itself, becomes a doorway to healing, one that lets us hear the quiet voices inside, and tend to the wounds we've been too busy to name. And perhaps, the most precious gift this book offers is the quiet assurance. You are not alone. Because as you turn each page, you can almost feel the warm, grounded voice of Thich Nhat Hanh sitting beside you. Not judging, not instructing, just being there, walking with you, with compassion in every word. He doesn't ask you to become someone else. He simply invites you to return to who you already are, to the version of you that is whole, that is worthy, and that is deeply, unconditionally lovable. In the end, what the Miracle of Mindfulness leaves behind is not a set of lofty philosophies or strict teachings. It's something far gentler, a quiet feeling of coming home. Coming home to yourself, to your breath, to your footsteps, to the moments that seem small, but when lived fully, turn out to be profoundly sacred. Thich Nhat Hanh once said, "Happiness is not something far away. Happiness is when you are breathing, and you know that you are breathing." We don't have to change our entire lives to find peace. We simply need to live more deeply within the life we already have. A quiet morning cup of tea, an afternoon walk without looking at your phone, a meal without rushing. These small things, when met with presence, can become miracles that gently heal us. And you know what? Mindfulness doesn't turn you into some perfect version of yourself. It simply brings you back to who you already are, without the pressure, without the pretending, without the masks. Just a real human being, who breathes, who feels, who loves, and who knows how to cherish life, exactly as it is. If you've stayed with me until now, perhaps there's already a quiet part of you longing to slow down, to live more fully, and to come home to your true self. And if that's awakening within you, then you've already taken your first steps on the path of mindfulness. I truly believe that the Miracle of Mindfulness isn't a book to read once and put away. It's a companion you can return to any time, when your heart feels shaken, when the world feels heavy, or when you simply need a gentle reminder that your breath, your presence, and your capacity to love are always with you. If you'd like to start practicing mindfulness today, how about taking 3 deep breaths, right now? Then, leave a comment below sharing one thing you feel grateful for in this exact moment. And if this book has ever touched your heart, or if you have a small, meaningful mindfulness habit that helps you, please share it in the comments. You never know who might need the very words you have to offer. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel, so we can continue exploring more books that feel like soft clouds and quiet winds. Books that heal, that ground, and that remind us how to simply be. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, may you breathe with ease, walk with gentleness, and live each moment fully and deeply.